अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। आज मैं आपकी क्लास फोर्थ की बुक का चैप्टर 1, इस बुक में आपका चैप्टर 8 है। द नेम ऑफ द चैप्टर द कंपाइलर ऑफ द कुरान। द कंपाइलर ऑफ द कुरान लेकर हाजिर हूँ। आप सभी बच्चे अपनी नोटबुक अपनी बुक्स को ओपन कर लें और प्रॉपरली मेरे साथ रीडिंग करने की भरपूर कोशिश करेंगे। नाउ आई विल स्टार्ट चैप्टर 8 द कंपाइलर ऑफ कुरान। यू शुड ऑल्सो रीड विद मी। आप भी मेरे साथ पढ़िए अपनी बुक्स ओपन करके। सबसे पहले आपके लिए स्टार्ट हो रहा है जो चैप्टर इन्वॉल्व। इन्वॉल्व मीन्स इस चैप्टर में आप अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व करिए, मीन्स जोड़िए अपने आप को इसमें। हैव यू हैव यू एवर सीन एनीवन क्राइंग वाइल रिसाइटिंग द कुरान? क्या आपने कभी किसी को रोते हुए देखा जब वो कुरान की तिलावत कर रहा हो तब वो रोता हो? वट आर योर फीलिंग्स वाइल रिसाइटिंग द कुरान? आप जब कुरान की तिलावत करते हैं तो आपकी फीलिंग्स क्या होती हैं? रीड, लेट्स रीड दिस स्टोरी विच shows one's love for the कुरान, जो एक व्यक्ति के कुरान के प्रति, कुरान के लिए उसकी जो मोहब्बत है उसको बयां कर रही है ये स्टोरी। तो सबसे पहले आज हम रीडिंग करेंगे ओनली, तो रीड विद मी, मेरे साथ पढ़ें। इट वॉज द टाइम ऑफ वॉर विद द रोमन्स। द कंडीशंस वर वेरी हार्श। देयर वॉज ए सीवर ड्रॉट and the weather was very hot. Preparations were being made, but the Muslim army did not have proper arms or camels to ride. People were without food and water. Things were very desperate. In the camp of the Muslim army, but they were very hopeful of the outcome. At this time, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged the Muslims to donate money for the weapons and other equipment to prepare for war. Empathize. Do you give money in charity from your pocket money? How do you feel when you give charity? I take the responsibility of giving 100 camels with back saddles. One person got up and said. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started speaking again and encouraged the Muslims present in the gathering to give money for the cause. I take the responsibility of giving 200 camels with back saddles, the same person said. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued to encourage the Muslims to donate for the cause. I take the responsibility of giving 300 camels with back saddles, the same person said again. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stepped down from the platform of the masjid, walked towards the person and said, now after this Usman's sins have been wiped clean. Whatever he does even in future, he will not have any sins. This was one of the incidents which shows the generosity of Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu anhu, the third caliph. For this generosity, people used to call him Ghani. After accepting Islam, it became his habit to free one slave every Friday. Empathize. Do you do any special deed on Friday? Do you read Durud and Dua and Surah Kahf on Friday? Another incident which shows his generosity is the incident of the well. Once there was a scarcity of water in Medina. Ajib had a well, the water of which was very sweet. He used to take a lot of money from the people who wanted to take water from his well. Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu offered him a huge price to sell the well, but the Jiv sold only half the well for 12,000 dirhams. Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu allowed the Muslims to draw water from it free of cost. As per the condition, the Jiv used the well for one day, and the next day the Muslims drew water from it. Later, the Jiv sold the rest of the well for 8,000 dirham, which was also paid by Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu. Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu was 6 years younger than Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Born in Makkah, he was one of the few who could read and write. By profession, he was a businessman. At the age of 34, he accepted Islam. He used to say, "I am the fourth person to have accepted Islam." Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave his daughter Ruqayya in marriage to Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu. After her death due to illness, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got his daughter Kulthum married to Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu. For this reason, he is called Jun Nurain, which means possessor of two lights. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu a lot, and he loved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anything in the world. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Every messenger will have a close friend in Jannah, and my close friend in Jannah would be Usman." Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu was known for his modesty, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, "Why shouldn't I feel modest, haya, in the presence of the man with whom even angels feel modest, haya?" Another title given to Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu was Qatibe Wahi, which meant the writer of the revelations. Whenever the Quran was revealed, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam dictated it to Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu, and he used to write it down. Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu is also called as Jami'ul Quran. Jami'ul Quran. During the caliphate of Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu, Islam is spread in far off places, even up to Rome and Persia. With the spread of Islam in the non-Arab world, the people in their ignorance started fighting among themselves over the issue of reading the Quran. When the news reached Hazrat Usman raziyallahu anhu regarding this issue, he asked all the copies to be brought to Medina. Then he made copies from the Quran he had saved and sent them to these places, saying the Quran ought to be read in the manner of the Quraysh, because it was revealed in their dialect, so that people read the Quran in a similar correct manner. This is one of his major achievements. to bring all the Muslims together to read the Quran uniformly. For this reason, he is called as Jami'ul Quran, which means the compiler of the Quran. Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Anhu was Hafiz Quran and used to read it a lot. His nights and days were spent in reciting the Quran. At this time, he completed one Quran in one rakat. He enjoyed reading the Quran, and while reciting it, he used to cry to the extent that his beard used to get drenched in tears. The recitation of the Quran and Nafil prayers were an integral part of his life. One night he was martyred by rioters in Medina. This day was Friday, the month of Julhajjah, in the year 65 Hijri. At this time, he was reading Surah Baqarah, verse 137. It was distant that at the time of his death he was reciting the Quran, and the blood stains of his personal copy of the Quran is still preserved today in a museum in Istanbul, the capital of Turkey. All the students, read your chapter properly at home. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.